He exhaled slowly, like a balloon losing tension. Me too. Their 3 months turned into a survival course. There were days Tunde came home with just enough money for Gary. He would insist he wasn't hungry. She would insist on splitting the small food they had. Sometimes they joked about it. "So this is the for poorer part of the wedding vows," she said once, stirring a pot of watery stew. "Don't worry," he replied. "We're practicing so that when we reach the for richer part, we will not forget ourselves." Some nights, fear clawed at her chest. What if her father made his threat real? What if they failed and Tunde vanished? What if she brought chaos into his life only for him to lose everything? On one particularly rough day, when the heat was unbearable and her feet were swollen and Tunde had just returned with barely enough money for food, the pressure exploded. "This is your fault," she snapped suddenly, the words sharp, shocking them both. He paused halfway through removing his boots. "What?" "Everything," she said, hands trembling. "If I hadn't met you, I would still be in my father's house. Comfortable. Safe. My biggest problem would have been which dress to wear. Now I'm here, sweating, broke, pregnant, stressed, being insulted by people who used to open doors for me." Silence. She regretted it the moment it left her mouth, but pride forced her to continue. "I gave up everything for you," she said, tears already gathering. "Everything. And what do I have? A bed that makes noise when I breathe too loudly?" He stared at her quietly for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "Okay, you're right. You lost a lot." She blinked, thrown off. "That's it? You're not going to argue?" "What do you want me to say?" he asked softly. "That you didn't sacrifice anything? You did. That you didn't leave comfort for discomfort? You did. That you didn't choose me when you had options? You did. I know all of that. I think about it every day. Every single day. You think I don't feel guilty?" His voice broke slightly. He looked down, fingers twisting together. "I can't stand it sometimes," he continued. "Knowing that because of me, you are here. Knowing that I can't yet give you the life you deserve. But I'm trying. With everything I have. I wake up with you in my mind. I sleep with you in my mind. I'm building something in my head even before it exists in reality. If you regret choosing me," he swallowed. "If you regret choosing me, I will understand. It will kill me, but I will understand." The tears spilled before she could stop them. "I don't regret choosing you," she whispered. "I regret how hard it is." He stepped closer, hesitated, then gently cupped her face. "It's hard for me too," he murmured. "But when I see you, when I feel our baby," his hand slipped to her belly, "I know why I'm walking through the fire." She sobbed, the fight leaking out of her. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm tired." "I know," he replied, pulling her close. "Cry. Then we continue." She cried. He held her. The fan rattled half-heartedly above them. By the time the 3rd month approached, they were leaner, more exhausted, and somehow stronger. Ariana no longer jumped when she saw herself in a mirror without makeup. She knew where to buy the cheapest tomatoes. She could tell by the smell of the air when rain was coming. She knew which neighbors to borrow salt from and which ones to avoid. Tunde knew how to make her laugh even when she felt like dissolving. He had spoken to someone he knew from a past job about future contracts for private security, planting seeds in case life gave him the chance to grow them. When the 90 days finally came to an end, Ariana woke up before the sun. She sat on the edge of the bed for a long time, staring at her swollen feet, her round belly, her hands. "This is it," she said. Tunde sat up beside her. "You don't have to go." "I do," she said. "If I don't face him now, he will think I'm afraid. And he will never respect our life. I can't raise our child in hiding." He nodded slowly. "Then we go together." They arrived at the Bello mansion in a KK, because the taxi driver they'd hoped to use canceled last minute. The contrast between the noisy, slightly dusty tricycle and the imposing gates of the estate was dramatic. The guards at the gate looked confused. "I need to see my father," Ariana said. They hesitated, then one spoke quietly. "Madam, Olga has banned." "If you like, don't open this gate," she interrupted. "I will sit here and scream until the whole neighborhood comes out. Choose which scandal you prefer." They quickly made a call. The gate opened. Inside, the compound looked the same, but Ariana didn't. She walked through it with a steadiness she didn't have the last time she left. Her father was waiting in the living room, seated like a king on a leather throne. Her mother sat on a nearby couch, hands clenched together. He looked her up and down, taking in her simple dress, the tiredness in her face, the fullness of her belly. "You're still alive," he said. "Good. I was beginning to wonder. I'm fine, she replied. Thank you for your concern. The sarcasm was not lost on him. And you, he said, turning to Tunde, who stood slightly behind her. You're still here. Yes, sir, Tunde said. No one made you disappear? The chief asked mildly. Many tried, sir, Tunde said, matching his tone. But God passed them. Her father's mouth twitched. Just barely. Have you come to your senses? He asked Ariana. Ready to drop this madness and come home? She lifted her chin. I've come to tell you I survived. Without your money. Without your influence. I didn't come crawling back. I came walking. He studied her for a long, heavy moment. How did you eat? He asked. Where did you sleep? In the staff quarters, she said. On a bed that made noise with every move. I fetched water. I walked in the sun. I learned what Gary tastes like when there's more water than sugar. I learned that people with little still give. I learned that comfort without respect is a prison. His eyes flickered to Tunde. And he asked. He worked, she said simply. Day and night. He never abandoned me. Even when I shouted at him. Even when he could have used my words as an excuse to leave. He stayed. Her father's gaze shifted to Tunde. You know you ruined her life, right? He said quietly. No, sir, Tunde replied. We are building a new one. The room went still. The chief's eyes narrowed. You are bold. Maybe too bold, Tunde conceded. But if I was not bold, I would never have spoken to your daughter the first day I met her. And she would still be engaged to a man who doesn't respect her. There it was, the unsaid truth laid bare. Her father's jaw clenched. He looked away for a second, wrestling with something inside him. Pride. Fear. Love twisted into control. Her mother spoke then, voice trembling slightly. Samson, look at her. He did. Ariana's back was straight. Her face, though tired, was open. There was no frantic desperation in her eyes. Only quiet resolve. This is not the same girl who left, her mother said. She went through something you could not protect her from. She chose him. She chose this baby. You can either hold on to pride and lose her completely, or bend small and keep your child. Silence. Time seemed to stretch. Finally, the chief exhaled. It sounded like defeat and something else, a release he didn't want but desperately needed. Come closer, he said to Tunde. Tunde obeyed, resisting the urge to wipe his sweaty palms on his trousers. The chief looked him over again, as if seeing him for the first time. Not the uniform. Not the class. The man. You protected my daughter when she stepped out of my house, he said slowly. You did what I should have done and didn't. For that, I owe you more than I want to admit. Tunde swallowed. I only did what any man who loves her would do. Many men claim love, the chief replied. Few stand by it during hardship. He paused, then said, You want to marry her? Yes, sir. Tunde said without hesitation. You are poor. Yes, sir. You have no house of your own. Not yet, sir. You don't have the kind of money she's used to. I may never have your kind of money, sir, Tunde said evenly. But I will have enough to give her dignity, to give our child security. And I will fight for more. Every day. The chief held his gaze. Something softened, not much, but enough. Fine, he said. Marry her. Ariana inhaled sharply. Her mother covered her mouth with her hand, tears spilling over. But, the chief continued, and Ariana's heart stuttered, you will not become my third son looking for handouts. I will not be your ATM. You will work. You will build. You will stand on your own feet. If you fail to do that, if you sit down and expect me to carry all your responsibility, I will cut you off like a bad investment. Yes, sir, Tunde said quickly. I don't want your money. If opportunities come, I will work for them. I don't want free things.